kid, right? Like, when do we stop being kid? Guys, now I've never looked at myself and said, "Hey, you're an adult." You know, maybe I need to say that. Maybe I'll be more serious about life because I feel like I'm just a child who's adulting. Like, I'm just a child who's going through it. I'm just a child who's going through adult stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it also has something to do with being raised in an African home. Like, because you always think you're a child, but at the end of the day, you're not a child. And I think it's because, hey guys, I'm thinking about also this book name. Like, I want to do a book review actually, but like I'm thinking about the Book of Not, about how these people, we are always given like, you need to speak up for yourself, you need to do this, you need to do that, you can't always be told what you do, blah 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 blah, but you cannot practice that at home. Like, you can do all of that nonsense that you're doing there, you can get your education and use it there, but more figure you become a child, more figure it's hard being a black person living in a country that has a history of colonial. Hi everybody, it's me, Khata Am. Welcome back to Finding Joy in Becoming. So the Book of Not is basically a sequel to Never's Conditions. One thing about the Book of Not is basically just an extension of the main themes in the book: racism, gender discrimination, and most importantly, being a child in a black African home while having to live in a Western environment, a Western community. Because I think that it's very hard. It's giving us identity issues, and it's making us not even know how to react, because now you're with your parents, you have to react a certain way. Now you go outside, you have to react a certain way. The same education that they're giving us to empower ourselves and to have opinions, we cannot take it and empower ourselves in our own homes and have opinions in our own homes, because we are always be kids in their eyes, but somehow we are adults. Yo guys, life Haisham batekulani nizozibona. Anyways, it also comes to the question, Uguti, is it rebellion, or is it just being yourself, standing on your ground? I feel like there's a very thin line between that. Every time you do something that's different from the norm in African communities, you're called disrespectful, you're called all sorts of names. But is it really disrespect, or am I just being different? Think about it. So one thing that I also feel like the Book of Not did, guys, can you look at the relationship that Tambo had with her mother? Oh, you know, women are the reason why patriarchy is still strong and standing. Women, especially older women, our mothers and our sisters, they are the reason why patriarchy is still strong and it's still standing, because they are the ones who force us to do what they did back then in the past. Like, we still have women who ask another woman who would say, "Oh, don't do that, if you do that, who will marry you?" We'll still have women who just like, "You should not do that, what will men think of you?" We still have women who are just like, "You should not wear like that, you should be professional." We still have that in our community. So through the relationship with Tambu, I just realized that actually our parents are the ones. We can talk about patriarchy all we want to say, dismantling the system, blah 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 blah, all of those English, but if we cannot start practicing it in our own homes, if we can just stop having opinions on little girls' lives and how they live it. Obviously, I'm not saying we should allow them to just do whatever, but like, stop having opinions, stop wanting them to live that. How? When you guys were not empowered, how? Anyways, I think I'm too personal with this, because oh my word. Also, the environment. There was an environmental shift. From Never's Conditions, Tambu had an opportunity to go study in a boarding school, and in this we get to see her life in the boarding school. And I must say, it's not really a great one, because that's another thing about being a black person who is in now a white environment. Tambu thought she was better than all the black people that she came with, because she thought if she could do this, she could be better. She just so badly wanted the other races in the school, or the other race, better yet, in the school, to see that no, actually I'm not like these people. Yes, they are unruly, they're black, they're whatever. I'm different. I'm sophisticated. I have poise. You know what I'm saying? That she just constantly wanted to be that to them. And she moved from an environment where things were awarded based on gender to an environment where things are awarded based on race, because they didn't even see the efforts that they made simply because of their race. Does that make sense? I give this book a whole. I thought I was gonna give it a 4 out of 5, but now that I'm actually speaking about it with so much passion, I'm like, I think it deserves a 5 out of 5. Beautifully written, a continuation of Never's Conditions. So all of those things that I said about Never's Conditions, imagine what I'm gonna say about this. It's so beautiful, and I really do want to go back to Tambu's relationship with her mother, because her mother was you have to fight men. You have to fight men in the men's world, and you also have to fight your mother, because she wants to make sure that the men's world stays as it is. Because she didn't dare do anything different. She's expecting the same from you, because she was compliant. She's expecting the same from you. Why are you different, my child? Yeah. Anyways, it was a good book. 5 out of 5. Highly recommend. Please do read it. Like, let's turn into many activists, because I feel like such books reminds us of where we are. Hey, as especially Tina Amatuke, we forget where we come from. We forget the struggles that people went through. I mean, we're not trying to invalidate the struggles that people went through. Hey, but like, we forget them sometimes, and constantly when we read these things, we just reminded that, you know what, actually no, actually no, we just reminded of a lot of stuff, and it just reminded of where we come from. And I think authors such as this should not stop, because we cannot afford to forget where we came from. Hey, I mean, yes, it didn't happen to us, it happened to our parents, but it still affects us. Anyways, there's a quote where Tambu was lying down and she was telling Nyasha about all of those things that are possible. And she's like, it's possible. We can do this, we can get nice cars, we can do whatever. And you know what Nyasha said? This actually made me cry. I'm actually such a crybaby, especially in books. Nyasha said that we will be too tired. I don't remember the exact quote. I wanted to get the exact quote. I tried to Google it and stuff. I couldn't. She said, like, we would be too tired of being afraid. And I'm just like, like, ooh, we are tired, man. We are exhausted. We are tired. We have to fight for our dreams, but unfortunately, it's not only our dreams that we have to fight for. We have to fight against the system. We have to fight against this. We have to fight ama generational tontoni. We have to dare to be different. It's a lot. It's draining. That's why I don't understand the motivation that says we have the same 24 hours in a day. I think, yes, we might have the same 24 hours in a day, but it's not the same. We don't get running. Yes, a wrong time. we don't extend our energies to the same things. I don't even know if that makes sense. Like, okay, fine, we have the same 24 hours in a day. There's someone who wakes up and spends like 5 hours to maybe 6 hours thinking about what they're going to eat for that day. How do you expect a person who they have to think about that, to think about their future, to think about investment, to think about employing themselves? But guys, we're going through a lot. Be gentle on people. Be gentle. Like, she's just like, we will be so tired of being afraid. And Tambo was like, yeah. And it was just a somber moment. Like, yeah, guys, it's such a beautiful book. I don't know if I should put a spoiler alert. Did I give out any spoilers? And if you're interested in reading my book reviews, because I feel like YouTube is a visual thing, TikTok is a visual thing, Instagram is a visual thing, unless of course if you read captions. To be honest, I hardly ever read Instagram captions. I just watch the pictures. So if you want to get the full book review, please do get over to my Facebook or my Instagram via captions, or my TikTok via captions. But like, I don't really, or maybe I might just caption the book review here. No, go over to that pages. How support a black young content creator who's passionate. How? Anyways, thank you guys. I actually can speak about this book the whole day. I didn't realize how much passion I had in this book, because it's the underdog. I thought actually the best book was Never's Conditions. I thought that, you know what, this book was not even doing it for me, because I remember even Googling on like is it safe for me to say that this book does not have any particular plot? Because yes, it brings out certain things, but there's no particular huge thing happening except the opening, obviously. But like, actually, no, this was problem. And 5 out of 5. Guys, please get the book, man. It's crossfit. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, bye.